what time it is. It is time for On Top and Hot with LilyStar. Hi, Lily. Glad to have you back. And me,
Done.
Zidar. All right, I've actually got some news for us today, folks. While we just warm up here, I feel really bad that you haven't had news for a while. So there you go. Is that rolling?
I see it. It's not moving though. There it goes. We're good. I must have been lagging.
No, I see. I got another screen up over here and it's looking herky jerky, but in front of me, it's moving like a dream. I don't know why it's so herky jerky. Anyways, we haven't had news, and I really think news is important. You got to keep up with the news. And I don't have a place to put it in my videos. I thought taking it out would help shorten the videos. It didn't. It didn't. The videos are exactly the same size. So at least once a week, I should be able to bring this to you, some news. Now, this is for the last 3 days. It's all OTC news, all penny stocks. It's news I've picked out, news I've read. It's hot news, you know, it's stuff that makes a difference. No restructuring or financials or anything like that. So once this is done, we've got a list. We've already got a bunch of stocks that we're going to take a look at here. I'm glad to see a bunch of new names here. CT We Buy Homes. Hey, I like your name. I haven't got a
business there in.
Liverpool. Good to see Johnny Elson. Chris McGinnis. Kashira Ratnayak. I know you. If I can't even say your name, I know you. Brian Tardovic. I'm just going first names. Belmore. Hi, Belmore. I know you real well. Thanks for showing up, folks. Really early, too. Not used to seeing so many of you so early. All right. So there you go, folks. There's the news. If you missed it, this is being recorded. You can catch that later. So let's jump into the first stock. I don't have anything that was given to me before market. So we're going to jump right into the list that I've already got from our first comments here. And of course, Belmore is always first. Well, virtually always first. She's first so much that I keep calling her first. Belmore wants to look at BDPT, and Belmore has a terrific knack of bringing us stocks that you need to pay attention to. I like your stock choices. So we've got an interesting one here. BDPT is Bioadaptives Inc. We're down to 0004s. Now, we don't look at a lot of 000 stocks because they just don't move fast enough. And as traders, especially in this market, we're looking for runners. Not everybody has patience. And the 000s can take a lot of patience sometimes, way more than we really want to give it. But when they start to move, they can be exciting because there's no other digit over here. When it moves, the only way it can go is up. There's no sideways activity here. So she's on the pink tier. She's current. She's got those green ticks we're looking for. But they say she's a shell risk. Let me see. Can I jump off this page? I can. I normally highlight stuff. I want to make sure I'm not cheating myself. Shell risk means that she's not making money, but she's in business. Well, when I looked over here, there is money there. No, I'm not going to say it's much. It's not much at all, but it's on the books. And I
say $3. $3.
It's $3,000. We got 3 zeros here, but still, I didn't know that there was a criteria on the pink. I thought money in was money in, even if it was 1 penny. So maybe this is going to fall off. I don't know, but they've had money all year and it's sitting there. So maybe there is a criteria. Let me see what I found about this company. This is what they do. They manufacture and distribute natural plant algae-based products, improve health and wellness for humans and animals. Looks like it's primarily horses and dogs, maybe cats. I didn't see cats mentioned here. With an emphasis on optimizing pain relief, antiviral activity, immune system defense, all that good stuff. What else did we find over here? Oh, that's the big news that is actually leading the board right now. This came out April 20th, which I do believe was their last piece of news. April 20th. Yeah, that was their last piece of news. And this is a spinoff. They are spinning off their livestock impact division as a wholly owned subsidiary, which means we're going to get dividends for this. Now, I jumped through here. I was trying to find a date for when they wanted to close this. I could not find a date. They've got a lot of information here. They say they've got patents which if you're going to work in this sort of industry, you need patents to protect your stuff. And they're working abroad and they're trying to get further abroad. What are their volume today? Well, goodness gracious. All right. Belmore and 97 million other people were watching this stock today. Big jump, almost 1,000% in volume. 10 times the normal volume, going from 10 million, 11 million up to almost 100 million. Share structure for the company. Looks like we probably got near 400 million, just under a half a billion. Not a great share count, but we're not going to worry about that right now. I don't think there's anything else to look at here except the charts. I see she had a 33% gain today, which means she probably went from 0003 to 0004. Is she just doing a barcode?
Yeah, well, and I'll go ahead and show it, John. We've looked at this one before, and I want to say Belmore might have brought it up before. And the reason why is because of this right here. This is back at the end of March. Had a really huge spike here. We thought it might go somewhere, but that move did not happen. This right here is a historical channel from way back, and it came right back into it. But now we see it's falling out of it. So even though we've got some move today, I'm not impressed just yet. So let's get a little bit closer.
I see that spread on the ADX and the PPO. So I would lean a little bit that this could be a trend change. It could be a good recovery.
I agree. But this is what I want everyone to notice is that it's fallen out. There's a whole new down channel here, and we didn't quite make it over. It went to 0005. And so until, and it's curling up right now, it's trying to cross over to the 50. So it's possible. But this is this is a critical watch area right here. If it does not, then because we do have potential, you're right. We're spreading out here on the PPO. But if it doesn't, we're going to stay in this channel. So just be aware of that. If it does, though, we might have some more upward movement. Getting past 0005 would be very critical on this one. So that's what we're looking like now. We'll just finish. We'll show what the day looked like. Let's just do the 5-day, 5-minute. You see how it approached it, hit it, and there's a lot of resistance right here. So it's holding right now. It's trying to do its thing. We're going to see it bounce and keep going. But if not, then it's going to stay in this downtrend channel. So don't get
it is definitely at a critical watch point right now. I agree with that.
Yes, that's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and put your screen back on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks like I'm going to jump right into a second one that Belmore has here. And she brought something to my attention that I was unaware of. We've looked at lease a couple times. This is LEAS, Strategic Asset Leasing. Now, the real big news about this company is she is doing a merger with a SPAC. So she's going up onto the major exchanges. Woohoo, that is great. Well, Belmore brought up a fact that they were doing a reverse split. It's like, are they? Before this merger, they're doing a reverse split. So I was trying to find that information. Well, I had to start doing some digging around. And I did this like 15 minutes before. Nope, not that one. That one here. I jumped into the most recent financial and I just put in the word split or consolidation. Some people like to use that word. Well, they do on November 1st, 2021. And I found information back here that actually brought it up even more current. They're looking at a 1 to a 2,500 reverse split. So for every 2,500 shares you have, you're going to get one new share. Or for every 10,000 shares you have, you're going to have 4 shares left over. Now, what's really strange here, now they say as of March 31st, 2022, the reverse split and name change have not been declared effective. Well, we see the name change. That's already occurred. That's up here. Well, no, not actually. We've only got the ticker. The name is not changed yet. Their name is A New Medical Inc. So we haven't got the name. We haven't had the reverse split. Now, this is where it gets really peculiar as far as I'm concerned. Look at the share structure. That's what we're talking about. You've got roughly 1 billion shares here. Well, you divide that by the 2,500, that leaves you with 400,000 shares. Not 4 million, not 40 million. I'd show you my calculator, but it doesn't show up. I can only show you one window at a time. But trust me, it's 400,000. They're doing this before they're going to do the merger. They haven't given us a date. We don't know. The other thing is take the price. Now multiply that times 2,500. That makes the stock $10. Actually, it's more than $10 at 4.5 cents. I just did 4, and it's not even cents. It's 0.004. Comes out to $10 before they go to a SPAC, which is worth $10. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know if they're going to do it, why they're doing it. Maybe the stock needs to be a certain price, a criteria for the deal to happen. More due diligence is necessary. But it doesn't make sense to me that they would do such a huge reverse split, leaving so few shares, pushing the price up so high that matches the SPAC price. Now, the great thing about the SPAC deal is they're going to get some money. I was trying to figure out how much money they said. When I jumped into the news, they threw around some numbers like 94 million is the pro forma enterprise value. They have pro forma, post action, all this stuff. They say 54 million is going to the Redwood people, which is the SPAC, which would leave what? 40 million for a new medical. And that's what happens with SPACs. You merge with the SPAC, they give you a ton of money, much better than uplisting on your own with the reverse split. Now, that's what I'm thinking. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they had intended to do a reverse split to uplist on their own accord, getting that price way the hell up there so they didn't have to worry about getting too close to a buck and being in hot water. Maybe there's not going to be a reverse split. Maybe that's gone now that they're doing the SPAC deal. More due diligence. We're going to have to read through the heavy stuff, going through the filings to see if those details are in there. Anything else we can learn here? Are they making any money? They're not making any money, none at all. And what was the volume around the company today? Oh my God.
Something crazy.
Yes. Yeah. I think Belmore uses a scanner. I think she finds these stocks that have high volume because she doesn't get any lazy stocks. I show you lazy stocks that nobody's looked at. She's finding these stocks that not only have people watch them, but they got a good reason for watching them. Look at that. 7 million to 165 million.
Crazy.
Now, folks, you got to keep in mind, I'm going to refresh this page. Looking at the OTC market, she did a total of 4.1 billion shares. A year and a half ago, we were doing 70 billion shares a day. 4.1 billion.
Yeah.
And that is for 12,491 companies. There's a lot of companies that don't get any shares sold every day. There's a lot of companies that have great news and the stock doesn't move. They don't get any volume, even for the good news. Why? Well, in my opinion, I think it's because the charts are just cold. They look like shinola. Nobody wants to play a cold chart. We all want some heat in the chart. So even a small catalyst on a hot chart can move. A big old piece of news on a cold chart may go to bloody waste. So that's why we always look at charts. And this chart is booming 100% today. Wow. 0044. So she started out obviously at 0022. And I think that's everything we needed to look at except that chart. I want to see this chart. And keep in mind, folks, this reverse split, unless Velmore knows something I don't, unless she's found a date somewhere that I'm not aware of. And I just did quick research here. You know, something like this deserves some more due diligence. I don't think this reverse split is going to go through. I think it was uplist, and I think we got a whole different route to go up. Let's take a look at that chart.
And that could be what it is, John. That could explain this movement because we were just in April at 0003. And then you can see, I mean, really nothing happening. And then bam, this is phenomenal movement. So that's just an overview for the last 6 months, you guys. I want to get closer so y'all can see this type of movement, which started on pretty much beginning of June. And currently, this last 5 days, 5 minutes. Look how beautiful. I mean, it's a beauty. So there is a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume in this one. So there's a lot of potential to make money here, especially if you're back in the 0006 mark, 9, something like that. And just look at this huge movement here. So this one, I don't know what's going to happen, though. Is there a reverse split or not? You guys need to find out before you get stuck playing.
Yeah, that's a huge split. 1 in 100.
I would not want to be a part of that at all. It's too much, way too much. So find out if that's not an issue anymore and it's going to be a SPAC and it's getting run up because, you know, everybody just wants to get in before that happens. Then there's some potential here to make some gains. I wouldn't want to stay in it long term at this point, unless it's incentivized for some reason from the company. I would wait until the SPAC or whatever is put out there, the ticker change, stuff like that. But do some research on this one if you're going to play it. But the last 5 days have been phenomenal for this one. It's
And if
really
you have
pretty.
confidence that this is going to climb, the way I see that channel there, she is in that channel very tightly,
Oh yeah,
respecting it. A lot of people say, well, it's already taken off. It's already climbing. It's too late to get in. No, that's what the channel tells you. Opportunities to get in. When she hits the bottom of that
right.
channel, she is falling. I mean, that is when you're going to get in. Look, if you waited for Netflix to crash to get in, it didn't. It was doing this bouncing up a hill for many
Yeah.
years. You've got to catch the bounce on the low and know that's your grow point. You don't want to get in as soon as it's about ready to fall. You want to get in as soon as
Right.
it's about
And you
ready to
don't
go.
want to get in when it's hitting these lines,
Exactly.
maybe breaking out. You don't know if it's going to break out. So getting in here hurts. That hurts because now you're like hoping it's going to come back. Don't do that. So just wait
Yeah.
for the opportunities. You see them right here.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you can always set a
frustration
stop
saves
to
you.
get out.
Finding the right moment is worth it. You patience, I'm telling you, 5 minutes of patience can save you hours of frustration, maybe weeks, months.
That's true.
A few more minutes of patience, getting that right confirmation so that the chart is doing what you see it doing, not what you hope it's going to do.
Yeah, never hope. We don't do that when we're trading. So don't do that. But yeah, this one does have some potential here. I would like to know more of what's going on before I traded them.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
All right, we have another one here. This one comes from, I think I put these in the wrong order, but I will come back to you, Brian. I see Brian wants to look at GTII, take a gander at it. I love taking a gander, but we're going to look at CT We Buy Homes since I had it up already.
That's
this
MBOT.
is MBOT. Yes, it is. Microbot Medical. Now, again, I'm only doing real quick general research, but I had heard some buzz about this earlier, and I do believe I have the stock right. This is a company that is working with robotic surgery. They have robots that do surgery, and they've been doing these trials with animals. Now, I haven't done a lot of research. This is what I've actually been listening to, and they were successful, very successful with all of the animals. So now they're working with human. That's what it says here. Agree to become one of the U.S. sites for Liberty's robotic system's first human trial. Microbot Medical receives non-dilutive grant from the Israel Innovation Authority supporting the development of the manufacturing process of its endovascular surgical robot system. So we've got people ready to manufacture the product that hospitals are going to use. They're that confident about it. And this is going to be $1 billion industry. It's going to put a lot of doctors out of work. Sorry.
Yeah, good.
I feel sorry for people who are out of work, but most doctors probably have enough money to take care of themselves for a while. So the other thing I noticed here, which was not spectacular, is all these registered direct offerings for shares. 1.4 million, 2.7, 2.6, 1.5, 1.5, and this is all in May. Now, I would dive into these. I don't know if these are being offered to the public and private investors, accredited investors, maybe not affecting us, but it's sure going to affect the shares. They've got to come up with these shares from somewhere. So they're going to be putting these out there. Share structure, what is it? Well, gee whiz. I don't know where they're getting these shares from. I don't know what they have total. They're not telling us, but we've got 8 million outstanding. Well, 10 million is a low float. So whatever the float is, it's great. It's outstanding. Financials for the company. Looks like we might be getting some aftermarket activity. I think I just seen that move. $2.66 with about 1/3% up right now. No money on the annual. No money on the quarterly. So we got nothing coming in. Just a quick look at this company just to see what their balance sheets look like. 2.5 million in the bank, 9.5 million in assets, 2.5 million in liabilities. So they're standing strong, haven't got any money. Manufacturing contract being put in place in Israel for looks like a heart surgery sort of product. Any disclosures over here for some extra news? Well, yeah, I'll bet you this is about that news we just saw. Pursuant. Material agreement, not jumping out at me there. It's a securities purchase agreement, which is always a good thing. More details included. 424B5, more shares on the market. Yeah, I told you they were doing that. And they got lots of 8Ks. 8Ks could be for just putting shares on, every single one of them, or it could be a deal, could be a merger. I love 8Ks. They're little Easter eggs. You never know what you're going to get in them. What was the relative volume around this company today? Oh, this one fell. This penny stock on the NASDAQ dropped from 7.6 million down to 1.1 million. Ow. Now, you know, all the markets are low on volume right now. Don't think it's just the OTC. All the markets are low on volume. So to get anything, you've got to have something going on. Either your chart's got to be warm or you've got to have news, and hopefully you got both. That's what you're going to get. Now, I'm going to presume this chart isn't warm. I have not looked at this chart, but because it didn't get much activity and the news seems pretty hot to me, I think that this is a huge market in the future. I'm going to think that the chart looks cold. Does it, Lily?
No, it's decent. Look at
Really?
it. Look at that. So this is the last 90 days, your 1 hour chart. And as you can see, it was $1. NASDAQ stock, it did hit $1, but it spiked to $4.44. And this was on 5/22. So
5/22.
Not that long ago. Of course, it can't sustain this. Whatever this movement was, it's probably news. It's not being able to sustain it, but it's back into the channel. And look exactly where it hit to do a bounce. I mean, we're right here at $1.66 area, but it's the bottom of this trend. So I like this one actually. So we're going to go to the last 5 days, 5 minutes. I mean, look at this movement. It's beautiful. Today might not have been so good for volume, and we had a big sell-off right here this morning, but I still think this one has a lot of potential. But depending on their catalysts and their news, they are into something very innovative, kind of new, really flashy. A lot of people like this because
that big spike we had
one of those
on that day came out news 100% test results on animal trials. So there was a lot of excitement. So
a lot.
You know, the first human trial that's successful, man, we could see a giant break. I mean,
it would go crazy.
Animals,
exactly.
Right?
So this one I like. Keep this one on your radar. I do think this has a lot of potential, but I would like to know all the catalysts, what's coming up, what kind of news are we playing with in the future, what kind of moves are the company making, and research the management, you guys. Make sure you understand who they are. So this does have potential. I just don't want anybody to think, oh, yeah, this is it. I know this is it. I'm buying. I'm holding forever. I don't care what happens. I'm going to be rich. Not necessarily, because you have to be able to trust your management. So I do like that it hit the bottom of this trend channel. I would look for that again, but it may not. So it's starting to sell off just a little bit right now. So you probably have some potential to actually find a entry soon. You see where it bounced at here today at 247, 246. Let's see what it does tomorrow. Does it hold that number or a little bit above it? Going to keep climbing. So start building a position if you're interested in this one, but you have time. And then the next news probably is going to spike it again. So there seems to be a lot of hype on this one, but rightfully so.
Yeah, and remember,
futuristic stock.
Remember, this stock's got $8 million in the outstanding. Who knows what the float is? So, I mean, I don't know what the volume was on that day it spiked, but I'm sure a low float helped.
It's beautiful. Yeah, if it's a low float too, that's another factor, a huge factor. Yeah. So, yeah, I like this one. I'm glad y'all brought it to our attention, actually. All right, back to you, John.
Thank you very much. So who do we have next here? Actually, I can see my comments. I like this. We are looking at GTII. And who brought that to me? Was that Brian?
It's Brian. Yeah, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Let's jump into that. I was looking over here. GTII right here. All right. I've got nothing set up here. So we're going into this together, folks. So GTII, this used to be a favorite. We were all playing this for a while. I've got to actually remind myself of what was going on with this company. GTII is engaged in acquiring companies, so they're a holdings company. Lots of words here. Wildfire signed term sheet establishing acquisition price. Let's take a look at that news. Is this the good news? Yeah, but we haven't had any news since. Is there anything at the bottom? No, we haven't had any news in 30 days. Global Tech Industries has successfully distributed its stock dividend. Oh, did I miss that? That was a month
Yes, we
ago.
did.
Shareholders with one, oh, right. We did talk about this. It was just a freebie. For every 10 shares
Oh,
you owned
yeah.
of GTI, they gave you one share. Come on. You got to love a company giving you shareholder value. I mean, playing with the shorters is one thing, but coming up with the dividend and actually giving it to you, good job there.
But yeah,
Right. 1-800 law firm. All right. It's all coming back to me now. They were doing a merger with Wildfire Media Corp and 1-800 law firm. Now, that was way back in March, and we don't see any new news here, and we were waiting for it to close back then. So I'm going to presume, without diving back into months old news, that it hasn't closed yet. The only other thing we
Art
can
says
do,
it hasn't.
see, a lot of 4A's over here. I'm not even, all right, a 4A. I know what a Form
The
4 is. I'm
selling.
not quite sure what the A is all about. These are sales. That's a
Sales.
very small sale. It's less than 10,000. They got themselves like 15 grand. But look, the guy's got like 19 million shares. Let him pay his Bentley bill. He's got hard times right now too. There's a lot of those there. There are a lot of forms, and seriously, every single one of them may be a sale. Don't panic. Don't think the company's in trouble. If they're just selling 10,000 shares and they've got millions of them, they got bills to pay or they're taking a vacation or something. But money's tight for everybody right now. So I wouldn't panic about that. Anything else here? No. Let's see our share structure. What was that?
I think it's a
345
lot.
million outstanding, 225 held by the insiders. We're presuming that number's correct, which would leave us with about 120. Now they've got other numbers here, so who really knows? It's a pink. We might be able to find it if you dive into their disclosures. And without scrolling and scrolling, just use your search bar. Put in the word float. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, don't waste any more time. Finished at 89.90 cents. Fell just a little bit today, 1.2%. Are they making any money yet? No. Quarterly? No. No
Uh,
money, and they're not considered a shell risk. So obvious, and I don't see shell company over here. And that always confuses me. What are you? Are you in business or aren't you? Either way, you're not making money, but I'd like to know if I should be concerned. If you're in business and not making money, that's a red flag. So jumping into those disclosures, honestly, that's going to answer a lot of questions. We just had one come out here a couple of weeks ago, and that's the best place to do your research. Do not let them intimidate you. It is like reading a textbook, but it's not just all numbers. They lay it all out, every deal, how they started, every name change, everything. And you don't have to read it all. Just read what you want to know. So right there is probably going to be your best place to get your answers. What was the relative volume around this company today? Ooh, she dropped to about 60% or something like that, from 750 million down to 1/4 million. That's about it. All I can say is she's got good green over here. She's got all her green ticks. She's current. She doesn't look like she's in trouble in any way, shape, or form. We didn't see any bad filings. So I think she needs a catalyst or a hot
yeah.
chart. And I haven't
Yep.
looked at the chart.
But we'll show that right now, John. And it's not anything really exciting. I
I
mean,
can tell
well,
by your voice.
yeah. But back here, September, October of last year, we had a huge run. And that's probably what got a lot of eyes on GTI.
Wow.
And that could have been, I don't think it was a reverse split. I'm not sure. And maybe they put that past. Either way, this channel just is flat. You see how it goes straight across, flat. And here lately, you see nothing that's more active. So I'll go to your last 20 days, 1 hour. Nothing's really happening. It's just kind of sitting around. So it's not going to do anything until it gets those catalysts, you guys. They have to have more news. Something's happening. Something's moving. It is an OTC stock. The volume is terrible right now. The last 5 days, 5 minutes, trending down.
I see no light at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah, it hasn't fallen out of the channel, but it also hasn't jumped out of the channel. It is totally flat. It's just sideways, you guys. And so getting into this one at this point, It's just something that you're saying, okay, I really like it. I'm going to hold it. You could be holding it for 2 years like this. It's not doing anything right now. So you have time. Keep watching it. If you have a position already, in these lower
Yeah, don't
areas,
average down yet. You could get a better price. Be patient.
exactly. So the patience would pay off there with trying to acquire more for your average, whatever that is, whatever your strategy is, stick to that. But if you bought back when it was really high and you're looking for hope now, I'm not seeing it anytime soon. That's what I'm saying. It's not happening anytime soon. So check into your management, check into your catalyst, make a decision, your plan for this particular trade, and then stick to that next time if you did get caught up into the hype of it, because that does happen a lot. These stocks get hyped up and then nothing, for a while.
Yep.
So be careful there. All right, John, back to you.
Thank you
Oh,
kindly.
you back
All
up.
right.
There you go.
We have kegs. This is from Kashira. She says there's a lot of volume coming into it. Well, first off, because of its price, volume isn't a consideration, really. When you're down here, notice how many zeros we have. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. We haven't even reached 0001 yet. I'm surprised to see she's still on the chart. I pulled out my chart. She's sitting there.
I want to say we looked at that one that day that you had a power outage, John. It may have a lot of volume, but it's selling volume.
Yeah, well, the volume, you got to remember, at 0001, a $100 bill will buy you 1 million shares. So we've got 254 million shares sold today. So that could be 254 people if they each bought $100 worth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we can buy it at this price. I'm sure the bid has to be the one.
At least one, yeah.
Now, I've heard a lot of good about kegs. I don't know why it is this low. Honestly, I haven't done a deep dive, and I would be concerned to see a price underneath 0001. There must be a problem. Now, it could be market sentiment, but I see a lot of these brewery companies not getting any love right now. Not getting any love. And this is way down there. Now, if there's no red flags, if I can't find anything, come on. At that,
I will say the last time it got a lot of love, John, was the beginning of January, around January 7th through the 9th. So whatever was happening there.
Right. I noticed there was a huge run for days.
Yeah.
Our volume today was giant. It was a 300% increase. So people were looking at it for a reason. Can we find that reason? Is there any new news here? Well, not for over a month. The company's beer, 1812 Amber, approved for sale in Ontario, Canada. Thank you, Canada. Momentum continues to grow for the company's flagship product. I think they've got other products too. They've got other beers, but I don't see any newer news here. Wait a minute. No, that is the newest news. Let's check out the disclosures. Nothing. Now, it wouldn't hurt, honestly, and we don't do this often on this show, but running over to Twitter, honestly, folks, there's a lot.
What are they saying? Because I'm not seeing it.
A lot of people trade stocks on Twitter and like to talk about them, including myself. June 6th, kegs, in my opinion, not much left to the diluters. Daily charts are, we're just talking technicals. 0001, nice hit. Then it went lower. All right, I'm not seeing any catalysts over here. Still working with CD holder for $100 million valuation. So, this is a company in business. What are they doing? Are they making any money? All right, they're a Canadian company, I believe, right? Let's see here. New York company, and I can't see their financials. And they're on the OTC.
Weird.
Yeah, that bothers me. Is there anything we can actually see here? No, nothing. So you're going to have to actually dive into one of these quarterly reports here to get any idea of what's going on. Normally, you can just get down to the first blue area and get some numbers. Outstanding shares, products, lots of information in here. Let's see what we got. Assets. Their assets haven't changed over the last year. 3.3 million, 3.2. This is their revenues. 2023 Q1. They did 92. Any zeros here? No. $92,000. Startup company. And compared to last year, they've done 30,000 more. So they're growing slowly. That's all we really got here until we dive in and look at more. Anything else we needed here? I think we saw our share structure. No, No, we didn't. I remember that.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that is maybe that's why everybody jumped out. Way too many shares. We got 6.5 billion shares here, folks.
No.
They've got 10 billion shares authorized. Yeah, that's billions. I want to make sure it wasn't trillions. And this is screaming reverse split. But don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody in their right mind truly does a reverse split from the 000 zone. You don't get anything from it unless you're making a huge leap all the way to the major exchange. What's to be gotten?
Yeah.
Unless because you're not, there's too many zeros there. You're going to have to take way too many shares and you're going to be left with just a spit wad of shares for all your investors. So I wouldn't worry about a reverse split now. But when a company starts making money, when they start getting up near a penny, well, that's what you have to be on the QB. You got to be at least a penny. And then you have to audit your records. And that's when you get trustworthy. And that's when you're going to be looking for a reverse split. Boom. So keep that in mind. They will do a reverse split at some point in time. I guarantee you. They didn't put all those shares out there for nothing. I think that pretty much covers it, except looking at the chart. And I can only guess what the chart looks like.
Well, and that's what we're going to go over because it's sideways. It's flat.
That's right.
It is flat. So back here in January, we had this run, which because we were pretty much the same area we are right now before that run, and it went up to 0017. That's a huge gain from the 000s. I mean, just that's
1,700% gain. So for every $100 bill you put in, you got 1,700 if you got out at the top.
Exactly. So that's an insane run. It did last for a few days. And maybe that's where everybody's coming in and chirping about this now because we're basically in the same area.
Yep.
The thing is, though, you have to have the volume. You need some catalysts. You need some news. Like all the planets need to align for these things to happen, especially on that type of float. And when it goes to 0017, there was a lot of volume right here trading this, a lot of liquidity. I mean, just everybody was making money that day or buying and selling that day or those couple of days. So you need that kind of traction. If you don't get it, this chart would not move anywhere like this at all. So it's really hard to do. And a lot of times with charts like that, with stocks that have that much for their shares, it takes a lot of hype. And that usually ends up being what it is, just hype. So be very careful. But yeah, the company has potential. Yes, they're growing, like John said, but it's going to take a lot of time to actually have something substantial in this company. So if you get a run, take your gains, take it. But right here, we're below the 0.0001. And I don't think we can buy at that price. We can do the 0001, 0002.
What's the price right now?
And I'm going to get, I guess I'll do a little closer. So right now we're currently sitting at, oh goodness.
So I was looking at
quad 098.
Right. And the ask and the buy are both 0001. So you could, if somebody's selling, it's not like they're just going to sell them out of a pile. You got to find someone who wants to sell on the floor. Good luck.
So and you had some movement today from this area to this area, but this is nothing compared to, when it's actually moving. So even though it says it's up a percentage or whatever, it's not really doing anything. It's still in that flat territory. And this is a danger zone. You buy, you say, I'm going to be the one that does the 0002 buy, and somebody's going to buy it from me. When? You don't know. Don't do that to yourself. So wait for this to start to get some traction and some movement, some volume. You'll be able to tell just like you could back in January, okay? But keep following it. Maybe they get better. All right, John, I'm going to put you back on.
All right, let's see where I was at here. Okay, what did I want to see here first? Okay, first thing I noticed jumping on over here is we've got no volume today. So I'm presuming she didn't trade. I'm not saying she's off the market. I'm saying
CRVH.
Which one? Yeah, CRVH. Chilco River Holdings finished the day at 4.5 cents. Said she had 2.5% gains. Now, how do you have gains without volume? I don't know.
I can't even pull up this chart.
All right, so let's see what we can learn here. She's under the radar. For the last 30-day average, she's got 16,000. Now, if she's only been trading for, say, the last 13 days, I mean, it could be, less and less and less. We don't know what's going on here. She is pink limited, meaning she is late on one or more of her financial filings. You're late for too long, you go down to the expert market where your shares don't trade and you stay there until you catch up on them. You know when they're going to get yanked off because you will see grace period in yellow, like shell risk here. It'll be right here, grace period. You can come over here to quote, click that button, and it will take you down to proprietary quote. And right here it will say grace period, last day, and they'll tell you when they're being yanked off. That's a great thing to know. No being caught off guard. She's a shell risk. That means she's supposed to be making money, but she's not reporting any revenues. But she has all of the green ticks we're looking for. Let's see what we got for share structure. Well, the insiders own a lot of it. There's 120 million. Insiders have 98 million, leaving about 20 million for the float, which isn't bad at all. Financials for the company, zip on the annual, zippity doo-dah on the quarterly. No money coming in at all. 22,000. Well, that's on the okay. The quarterly look better than the annual. They got nothing in the bank, folks.
I see a halt on this one since like May the 18th.
There we go. There, $87,000 in the bank, 87,000 in assets, no liabilities. This thing's dead in the water, folks. They don't even have any oars. There's no oars right now.
They're not trading. May the 18th. It hasn't traded since then, from what I can tell. May the 18th.
All right. The last piece of news was actually a good piece of news. Chico River Holdings announces acquisition of L. Myers Associates. I was just starting to dive into this news when Lily was done looking at her chart, trying to see exactly what this is. They focus on developing, manufacturing, and distributing high-growth products within a diverse industries, blah, blah, blah. Has sales exceeding $5 million. So they're getting a company that has revenues. That's a good thing, but where's the revenues? Have they closed this? We're off to a fast start in 2023. I'm not seeing if it was closed, what's going on here, but supposedly they've made an acquisition with a company that has revenues exceeding $5 million. So I would anticipate that the next piece of news we get, let's see if there's any disclosures here. Not since March. So a lot of times, I mean, I see this over and over. You see big news about a deal, and then all of a sudden it's dead quiet. Administration. Yeah. There's just stuff being done. It takes time. It's not as quick as you think. I mean, you know how many warrants I'm holding for SPACs that have made deals, and I'm still waiting for them to close. It's like, for God's sake, come on. This stuff takes time. So this could easily just be caught up in the administrative stuff back with FINRA and the SEC. But that's just a guess. I don't know. So obviously some more due diligence is necessary here. Now we see they're pink limited. How late are they? Well, how late are they? I see their quarterly report here for 2023. That's there. All right, there's the problem. They've got their, I didn't want to do that. They've got their annual report on time. It came out, but there's no attorney letter. You have to have an attorney letter unless this is a 10Q or 10K. It's not. It's a disclosure right there, disclosure. So they need an attorney letter, and they haven't put one in. And they didn't file this until June of this year. So they're way late for that attorney letter. Once they get that attorney letter in, I don't see anything else wrong here. Do I? 3, 9? Nope. All looks good. So this will fall off. They'll go back to pink current. That could be a catalyst if they can get back on the market. I don't know what this company is really doing, if they're doing anything, if they're alive, if the management is around. I mean, truly, I don't have a clue that this, it looks like a shell company, not a shell risk. When you don't have liabilities or assets, you're not there. So it's just glass to me. I'm not quite sure why anybody would be intrigued by this, unless, of course, you're a trader and the charts are set up. People will play it. I swear to God, there doesn't have to be anything going on. We seen this February of 2021 when everybody got that last stimulus check and the OTC market exploded. Just literally exploded. And stocks like we've been looking at with 0001, no management, no
business moving,
no filings for 3 years,
and they were going.
Oh, they were running 1,000% gains. People will play a chart. So Maybe the chart looks good, Lily.
No, it doesn't. So here's the thing that it stopped, and I can't get closer because it's limited information here. The last trading day I have for this stock is May the 18th. That's it. So I can't show you anything further than that. We're almost 3 weeks out from that now. So, and this is 6 month. I think I can show you a 20-day, 1 hour. This is what got my attention. I'm like, this doesn't look right.
2 blocks.
Yeah, it's the 12th to the 18th. And then it hasn't traded since. The 12th to the 18th is even, 5 or 6 days? So that's not right either. I don't like any of that. I don't know what's going on with it. So I'm going to have to back it up just so we can see something. But yeah,
well, you obviously can't buy into it, so we're not worried about that.
Yeah, you can't trade it, can't buy in. Is it the acquisition? Is that why it's halted? What is it? I don't know. But
yeah, and when it comes back on the market, I would not buy until I know why.
No, I'd be watching.
Don't presume anything. Plus, I don't like the financials. Those looked horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Horrible. A bare field without even grass in it.
Does it give you the warm and fuzzies, John? It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It gave me the chills. This is another one that gives me the chills. VORBQ, Pink Limited, delinquent sec reporting, bankruptcy. Woo, woo, woo. Oh. We got lots of red here, folks. This is an ambulance chase runner. She finished today at about 4.5 cents with 25% loss. She lost 1/4 of her value today. Virgin Orbit Holdings. Virgin, is this the same guy, the Robert guy from the UK?
I don't know.
Robert Branston.
Isn't it Richard? It's Richard.
Richard Branson, right. Another rich guy like Elon Musk who likes to play with his money, also has rockets. I guess he had one of his rockets explode on their tests just a little while ago, and that hurt him. He owns trains, he owns music, TV channels, all named Virgin. I lived in Scotland for 10 years. He rules the country. I mean, God, it's a small country. It's a small country. There's lots of rulers. So I'm going to presume this is on the market. This Q on the end, that means she's in bankruptcy. That will stay there until the bankruptcy is clear. Pink Limited, let's see how late she is. She's bankrupt. Now she's not filing. Looks like she's going under. That's what it sounds like. Wow. Look at all these 8Ks. Now, I have no clue what any of these are. I see she filed an NT10Q about 3 weeks ago. That is not filing our 10Q. They're not filing the report. That gave them 5 extra days. Well, that was till the 21st of May. That's come and gone. So that's why they've got that up there. I don't know how long they'll allow them to be late. Grace period could come up here. They could fall off the market, go down to the expert. If they're in that bad a shape, what really needs to be done is you need to find out what their plans are with this bankruptcy. Are they getting ready to liquidate? Are they getting rid of management? Are they getting rid of employees? Look for signs of them closing the doors. Or are they getting with loan companies, associates who can restructure the company? You need to check that out. Now, Virgin is huge. L'Oreal, Latham, any company that that hurts. Nobody's going to let these companies die because the branding alone is worth billions of dollars. Just the branding. So they will find a way to keep these companies alive. And they do normally come back in time. Down here on the OTC, we'll play them. They'll bounce for no good reason, a good reason. But if you're looking for a recovery, most of these branded names will recover. Now, I don't know how big Virgin is to Americans. It's huge over in Europe and over in the UK. Over here, I don't know if it would get that same sort of support and love. What sort of share structure she got? Well, she's got just under 400 million in the outstanding. Don't know what the float is. Financials, well, between 2021 and 2022, she had a nice jump, but look at the profit. She was losing money in a very big way. Quarterly, still losing money. Made $83,000, but lost $24 million. Looks like she's going downhill very fast, folks. She won't let go of the anchor. What was the relative volume today? Well, lots of people. I mean, this is a fire and people are squeezing out the door, just squeezing, people losing weight going through it. 1.8 million to 12.5 million. They're evacuating right now. And I don't know what the charts look like, so I don't know if it's a play or it's just run away.
I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you, John. Okay, so it hasn't been here long because of Q. It changed the ticker, so the end of May or end of April.
Oh, right.
We started changing. So we had this huge drop here, which was May 23rd, and pretty much nothing. I mean, you see it going sideways. So whatever they've been discussing, I guess it sounded positive, and so it started running the last few days. This was on June the 6th, so a couple days now. So I'm going to take you to the 5-day, 5-minute, so you can see that movement. Beautiful. However, it broke out. It came back into the channel. So I think the move is over, whatever it was. I think it's over, but it could still stay in this channel. You still could find a place to pick it up. But what John was saying is very important, is finding out what they're doing. Are they restructuring? Are they trying to make steps to save this company? Or are you chasing and throwing money at something that's going to not benefit you whatsoever? And you're going to be stuck in it.
You know, I looked at the old ticker. Back in November, she was at a high of $3.26.
Okay.
But she has been falling ever since then.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like playing these until I do know. I research what they're doing, what their plans are, the management, stuff like that. So is this the right play for you and your money right now? Probably not, because there's other things that you can get into.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't fall in love with any stock. I mean, honestly, we're here for one reason, to make money. Don't feel bad if you sell because you've been holding it for so long. You feel like you're cheating by selling it. No, you're cheating yourself if you don't take that gain. Don't cheat yourself.
Gotcha. Well, also, John, we have about 10 more minutes. So just wanted to let you know where we were. Yeah.
All right. Looking through all the comments here.
There's a bunch of them about MBOT. Everybody's all about MBOT. So y'all do research on that. Get into it.
MBOT. I'm going to have to do a deep dive and probably do.
I think we should do a video on MBOT. Why not? Here I am saying we, like I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I wish I had you to help me.
I will be your cheerleader.
Well, at least bring me my coffee and sandwiches.
I totally would. Go MBOT.
All right, I was looking here for another ticker, and I think I've got one right here. I had to come all the way down. Hey, Sand Tribe, good to see you.
There we go. There we go.
Thanks, folks, for stopping in. Buffalo Fireside Chats. Well, that sounds like a place I'd like to hang out after I was done working. Yes, Buffalo Fireside Chats. Talk penny stocks and women all night. Okay, let's look at, is that a ticker? US. I'm taking it that's a warrant.
Oh,
US.
it might be a warrant. Yeah.
Let's see. USCTW. USCTW. I don't mind warrants. You know me. Just warrants haven't been to get. It's like as soon as we looked at them, they quit doing those 10,000% runs. We were getting 1,000, 4,000, 10,000% runners out of these warrants. Now, the thing about warrants, too, they only need a little bit of volume to move. They move hard and fast. Two, you really can't sell for what the price is. The spread between the ask and the bid normally is big. And you'll see it jump from 2 cents to 10 cents and go, whoa, 500% gains. The bid is still at 10 cents. Now, you can try to sell higher. That's what the market does. You can put it in there maybe at 4 or 5 or 6, but you're not going to get 10. But if it goes up 10,000%, you can only ask for 1,000%. Okay, I'll settle for that. So I've got a lot of warrants right now. We're waiting for deals to close. But the sad thing is, a lot of these SPACs after they close are crashing. I don't know what the problem is, folks. I can't see all of that. TKB Critical Technologies. I have looked at this. We've posted information about it on Twitter. I post a lot of information out there. Let's see who they're doing a deal with. I'm presuming they're doing a deal because I don't post about them unless they are doing a deal. Weejo. Oh, Weejo, for God's sake. Weejo and TKB file S form. Okay. I guess I'm lost here. I thought this deal was complete. So we got a 20% gain today. She's up to 3 cents. Now, of course, she's a shell company. So now this is the best way for me to tell. I just need to click the actual ticker. No,
Yeah.
our deal is not closed yet. All right, so Wejo has not closed. I just sold my Wejo warrants the other day, as a matter of fact, finally grabbed something out of them. She was down for a while. But you look at the price of the stock. I think the stock was like at $1.35, Wejo, and the warrant was at, I don't know. What was that warrant? 4 cents? I think I sold it.
Yeah.
It's at 3 cents.
3 cents.
Well, that's this warrant. I sold the Wejo. And it's like, well, how much higher is a warrant going to go if the stock's only $1? It's not going to go much higher. And I just really wanted to get into something hotter. And you got to remember that, folks. That's what people are doing. We're playing hopscotch. They ain't got time to sit around in this market waiting. They're looking for stocks moving. That's what I make my show for, looking for hot charts for stocks that are moving. Now, it's not about the news. I'm telling you, folks. We saw charts this last week that had no catalyst whatsoever, but because the chart was set up, it was played. There was a golden cross on those atypical breakouts, that 200-day coming down, price sneaking up underneath it. The 50's right underneath it as well. As soon as that hits that 200, there are lots of people who have scans set up looking for the 50 to cross the 200. They're watching the chart. They're not looking at the news. They're watching the chart. So looking for the momentum. That's where you're going to get your runs. And it doesn't matter if there's a catalyst. So get used to paying attention to the charts if you want heat. You'll waste a lot of time and money playing news runners because there's a lot of stocks not running on the news. So this warrant, obviously, it's got to be moving on the same thing that the warrant Wejo would move on. The stock isn't going to move if there's any news, but there isn't any news right now. We haven't had news for quite a while, and I doubt there's any disclosures out. Not for over a month. Pre-14A. No. So right now, like all these SPACs, we're in a waiting hold. Now, depending on the chart, which I can't see, that's going to be Lily.
Yeah,
it could be in a breakout mode, and that's the only catalyst we got. News.
Not really.
Because SPACs got nothing to offer until something's happening because they're doing nothing.
That's true. So this is a 4-hour chart for the last 6 months, you guys. And then December of this last year, climbing up to January and February, it went up to 32 cents. Okay. So, but ever since then, I don't like this sort of inverse cup and handle thing. I don't like it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but we're pretty much at the bottom. So it went down to 0003. That was a nice little pickup there. So I'm going to get a little bit closer, just a 1-hour chart. You see how flat it is? It's just, nothing's really going on. So for today, we'll do the last 5 days, 5 minutes. You see, nothing. So you got this one little green bar here. Nothing's really happening yet. So when it comes to these, what I do like, because it's in a decent area, if you were trying to buy into warrants and hold them for a little bit. You do need to know the catalyst, though. Do that, make sure. But go back to the ticker, the USCT, and you'll see this one, and it didn't move much today, but if you go to the last, let's say, year, constant uptrend here. Look at this. Constant. So it's went up as high as 1142. Does it have potential? The warrants do, actually. I would like to make sure it's full warrants. There's nothing else pending on those. So I would do research on that, know what I'm trading, and I want to know the catalyst of what's going to happen when this merger closes. Who are they going to close with? Stuff like that. Just know those things. And then you have to be willing to be patient. So don't like playing warrants until they actually start moving. You'll see it on the chart. You won't miss it. All right, John, we got a couple more before we got like 1 minute.
Cut it off with GEGI.
All right.
Now we are looking.
I will. CYAP?
Yeah, CYAP first. We're going to put somebody behind. I think it's Belmore got the last one there. Somebody standing behind Belmore. No more, folks. Thanks for showing up. All right, CWAP, Cyber Apps World, finished today at a little over 9 cents, little over 7% drop. Pink tier, transfer agent verified, no verified profile. You want to see these if you're going to be in them for long holds. With a name like Cyber Apps, I've got to believe she's working with apps around the world. Let me see.
That'd be nice.
Internet platform with the purchase of sale and products and services. All right. So now, what did I see here? Okay, the first thing that drew my attention here was the share structure. Boom. we've got about 1 million shares in the float, and you've got about 1 million shares outstanding.
Huh.
Whoa. So you're not going to get a reverse split here. We know that. You might even get a forward split. That's very possible. It depends on how well the company's doing, and we haven't looked at any numbers yet. But you could also get a public offering. Wonder if they had a reverse split here recently. October of last year, they did a 1 in 840 reverse split, and they are at 10 cents. I don't know where they were at when they did that split.
The chart doesn't reflect that. I just don't see it.
Let's see what else we got here. Relative volume today, huge increase. Not huge numbers though, going from under 1,000 to almost 4,500. So that's over 450% increase. I know they're little numbers, but you see there's more attention. Now, it could just be one purchase. Could just be one purchase. That's not a lot of shares right there. Not a lot of shares.
Nobody's looking at this.
World, let's see. Confirms marketing license agreement with Instant Coupon app for marketing on the proprietary e-commerce network. That's new news. That just came out a week ago. I don't know how popular coupons are. Matter of fact, I kind of think it's an antiquated term. I think it has the reverse effect. People think cheap instead of savings.
They have a whole TV show and game shows dedicated to couponing. So
are there?
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. I can't do it.
I don't know of any stores anymore that take
I have friends that get paid to go shopping because of coupons. It's crazy.
No,
I can't do it.
What do I know? See, that's why, in my opinion, coupons could be a big thing here. You may want to jump into that and look at it. Are they making money with their coupons? Well, no, not yet. No. So we've got no money coming in, but it is always worth taking a look. They got nothing in the bank, 422,000 in assets. Half of that is in liabilities.
I think I like so far is the float.
And the thing is if you're working with mobile apps, there's very little overhead. You're paying for a website. You don't have to package anything. You don't have a factory building anything. You're just connected to the internet. So it's easy to make money and not have to pay a lot out, but they're not taking advantage of that yet. How many apps can they possibly have? All right, so their last filing came out. That was back in March. So you can find out what it is exactly they're doing, because it doesn't say shell or shell risk over here. But, I just don't see anything happening again. Yeah. And I think that pretty much covers it. There's nothing really going on here except they had a deal, but we're not seeing anything come of that deal. Now, was there actually any revenues or anything? Do we have any numbers being thrown around here? No.
It'd be nice.
No, I just don't see anything happening here. Is there anything happening on the chart?
Yeah, not much. So it's pretty flat. It's in a slight uptrend. The thing is, I don't see any data for this chart until like November, the end of November of last year. And you said they had a reverse split. I don't see that. So, and then that was in October, I think. So if we look at, let's say, a 3-year chart, this right here is still November the 28th, nothing. So I don't know what happened there or how they wiggled around, and I don't have chart data. Anyway, it is in a slight uptrend. We do see this huge spike here, and we're going to get a little bit closer for that because that's recently happened, and that's probably what has a couple people looking at this one. So it went to 0.188. So we did have a nice little move here from 8 cents to 0.18, but right back down. So I don't know what caused that. That was yesterday? No, today. That was actually today. Sorry. So that happened today, and then it sell off. And if you look at it from the data, from the hour chart, I'm sorry, not the hour chart. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. You can see that wick. That was a lot of selling pressure there. So it didn't stay. It didn't last long. But it is in an uptrend, so I don't know what's going to happen with this one. To me, there's just not enough data to know what this company's doing just yet. They don't have financials. Not really sure about this one. I would only play momentum on it, and then I would be out until they get a more substantial holding in what they're doing, making revenues. Okay? Yeah? That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
We got one more, right?
One more. We're looking at GEGI. This the company has this device that drives on roads and railroad tracks, and it can pick up cargo. As you can see here, I'm just
Look
going
at
through
this.
the
Fancy.
so it drives on the road, and then it connects to the railroad tracks and goes down. Well, they just had news come out today, and this is supposed to be a big deal. It's all automated. You don't need any people to do anything. You know, it starts on one end and you have someone on the other end. Well, they had news come out today that they have incorporated a new rail testing and safety inspection capability on their cars. Those things you just saw, they're gliders. That's what they call them, gliders. So they can now inspect the tracks, which they do have a machine to do it. It's rather expensive. It's got to get out of the way. It's bulky, but normally they have people do it. 2 people actually walking down the tracks, having to take measurements. Talk about labor intensive and time. So there's a lot of railroad tracks in the country. They're going to be doing shipping, hopefully in a lot of different areas. So this is another way that they're going to be able to make money and make better efficiency. I was reading there was 781 railway derailments last year, and most of them were due to the tracks, not to driving, not to cars, because the tracks, just like our bridges, they're antiquated. They've been out there a long time. They get old, they change. So they've got that capability now. So that's the catalyst for them. Share structure, got a lot of shares. We got 1.3 billion, most likely. Let's see what we have for financials. Are they making anything yet? God, we keep waiting for these great ideas and technology to start making money. The problem is we hear about a lot of great technology down here on the OTC, and we get so bloody excited about it. We think we're going to change the world. Next thing you know, your stock's on the expert market and it's gone. It's like, what happened? You know, Inc. had some new sound that they came out with that you could feel. And every song you've ever heard of before would sound like a Virgin experience. Well, they did a deal with the company. I got into it, INCC. Lost it. Bam. Where'd the technology go? Can it show up with another company if there was a bad one here? I don't know what's going on, but this new technology still has not launched. I would like to see this start moving.
Would be nice.
Volume fell today. We lost about 1/3 from 24 million down to 17 million. Now, I do like GEGI, but I want to see some revenues. That is a very important factor. Yes. It should be one of the primary ingredients to investing. Don't put your money into a company for a long time if they're not making money. The plant's not even out of the ground yet. Don't bet on chickens not out of the eggs. Wait till they're growing. These are plays. Honestly, folks, just play these sort of stocks until you have faith and what am I thinking here? Until you have the evidence that they are growing, because you don't come by your money easy and you can lose it even easier. Let's take a look at that
video. Anybody can make a video too, John. Like you make them every day.
So, yeah.
So this chart in the blue, you see the downtrend, and that's where we've been doing. This is a 4-hour chart. Ooh, downtrend, but here recently, that's what's interesting. I just wanted to show that because we're in breakout mode.
Oh, I love that chart setup. That's what I look for every day. You have 4 hour?
Yeah. Well, I was on the 4 hour. Now I'm on the 1 hour.
Yeah, 4 hours. How I do my searches. In case you're wondering, I'm looking for a breakout on the 4 hour. Then I'll magnify down.
Yeah, go ahead and well, go ahead. Let's go over the 1 hour real quick. So we're building up. That's what these red lines represent. Our new trend, like more recent. So I wanted to show the uptrend that we're in a breakout. It broke out from this downtrend channel, which is this blue line, and we're still above it. This is good. I like that. So you may revisit this area, but what happens usually if it's substantial, if there's enough news to back it up, people investing, volume, it's going to bounce and keep going. It'll keep that uptrend. If not, then it'll come back into this downtrend channel and accept its fate of continuing the downtrend. But I don't think so. This one looks pretty good. It really does.
It looks like one I'd put on my watch list for a play. I like the stock for a long hold when they start making money, when they have some contracts, when other companies say, we like this, we want 10 of them.
Exactly. So I don't like the fact that they don't have all that stuff, but that doesn't mean that this move's not done. So it could be a good spot to check into it, watch it. You can
Yeah, do
see
your own due diligence. I'm just talking out of one end and
exactly.
then the other.
So it could revisit this area. It could come back in this area and bounce up again. I mean, you could see it consolidate here and then fall back into that blue line, that downtrend. You don't know yet. So this is a place you want to watch, see if you want to check it out. If it goes back into that channel, the move's done. And if not, it's going to continue to go up and it's going to keep on hitting some higher highs. It did start selling off at 0.02. Oh, I'm sorry, 0.002. That's where we had a ceiling right there, and we're not too far from that. So if there's a resistance there, you're going to have trouble. If you could get over that, I look for it to get more actually. So keep an eye on it, you guys. But yeah, anybody can make a video, y'all. They can sell you anything. So be careful.
I hit the button.
You took it off, and I took it off.
Thank you for all the tickers you brought to us today, folks. You know what I find most is exciting?
That was fun.
Tickers that I'm unaware of. I'm only one guy. I can only look at so much. And then after everything I look at, I've got to narrow it down to only show you a couple. So I never feel like I'm giving you enough. But it feels good to get back as well. So thanks for bringing those stickers to us. Thanks for showing up. We're only here for you. But it's nice to feel like I got something out of it too. And thank you, Lily. We missed you.
Thank you.
You're the only one who actually appears.
Everybody face on there. I'm not scared, John. I'm not scared. I've lived with this my whole life.
Pookie is excellent. Guy's got so much knowledge about them charts. And then we've got Taylor. Taylor's a sweetheart, and she definitely is good on the charts, but nobody wants to show themselves.
Nobody wants. They're scared. They don't love themselves enough, John.
Thank you, folks. We ran over a little bit,
guys.
Today, but we'll be back next week, same time. And
we need a video on MBOT, John. MBOT. We got to get in there. Yeah, we got to get in there.
We're going to look at MBOT because a lot of you brought it up. We're listening to the audience. I'm like Simon Cowell. I listen to my audience.
Right. You guys have a good week.